on 95.3 FM in Windhoek, Desert Radio. The Bold Voice.
Are in a conversation with KeenanaMarkgraaf, and of course we are going to be talking just a little bit about coaching and his coaching career generally. He is with the NFA and he has gone through already a bunch of coaching courses that we are familiar with. You have heard us report on a few NFA coaching courses that have been going on, especially throughout the year. And Keenan has been through most of them. He has a C license for the SFA, Technical Study Group course, Introductory Coaching course, Youth Coaching course, Grassroots Coaching course as well. Two of them with FIFA, the other two with the NFA, and like I said, with the SFA as well. Coached a bunch of teams already, the Girls Football Academy, Women's under 15 seniors, old eds, men and women's. That's been in Johannesburg, 110 Sports, Soul Sisters, UCT, thirds and fourths, Varsity College and Varsity College Action Team as well. So a very hefty resume. Keenan, good morning.
Morning, how are you doing, John?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I can't complain, man.
Talk to us. How is the day going?
So far so good.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I thought I was having a productive morning.
Uh-huh.
I started off early with a 6:30 meeting.
Yeah?
And I come in here and then I'm embarrassed. Because some people start earlier, so yeah. I
Well,
won't take it personally.
well, this is what we do when we wake up every morning and just make sure that we inform the nation and keep the nation entertained. But I think before we get into coaching, Keenan, let's start off with you. Let's start off with your origin story. Tell us a bit about who you are, and perhaps before we get into the coaching, how you fell in love with football.
Shoo. Okay. These are one of those embarrassing questions, but it's okay. Origin stories. I'm from Windhoek.
Mm-hmm.
I've born and bred. I stayed here until I graduated matric. That was in 2016. And then I went across to Cape Town. So I had family there and I'd visited a few times. So it's a nice weather. It's similar to Swakop, but it obviously has that big city feel as well. So it's like a combination of Swakop and Windhoek.
Yeah.
But I loved it there. I had family there. I stayed in the city central. It's called the southern suburbs there, closer to the universities. Yeah, and that's where I officially started coaching. When I was this side, we just loved the sport. I mean, it's everywhere you played when you're younger. I remember when we were, like, this is now primary school, because I went to Delta Primary as well from grade 5 to grade 7. There would be days you come home, you take off just the white shirt. You still have the shorts on. You still have, like, your toughies on.
That's right.
And you're in the streets, you're playing, and then I'd play, like, until, like, 4 or 5. You see your parents drive past, and now you're racing to get into the house before them. But it's just the sport. I officially, when I was younger, I vaguely remember supporting AC Milan, but that's probably just because they were winning.
Yeah.
But I remember 2007 when Liverpool lost against AC Milan in the Champions League final. That's when I became a Liverpool fan, because my cousin was supporting Liverpool at the time.
Okay.
And I liked the way they played. I liked the energy. Even though they lost, it was I just enjoyed the team. And then you fell in love with Gerrard. Every Liverpool fan is a Gerrard fan.
Yeah, indeed.
That's how it started. I played a bit, nothing serious, just at school level. And then it was when I got to Cape Town where I started getting involved with the sport more seriously.
And then just speak to us generally how that journey has been so far, just in terms of coaching. How have you been enjoying it?
I love it, man. I love it. It's super stressful.
Yeah.
But everything you do with passion, everything you genuinely care about becomes stressful at a certain point. But I love it. It's something I was just saying outside. It's like you wake up every morning and you have to give yourself that pep talk to get out of bed. Like, oh, I don't want to wake up.
Yeah.
And then once you get it going and you're actually doing what you love, it's what you wanted. It's what I've asked for, and I think I've been blessed in that. I've had people along the way that have guided me in the right way, and I think I'm starting to see, like, it's infancy stages, but I'm starting to see that growth, and I'm starting to see that there is a pathway in the sport beyond just we all have those dreams of being the world's best footballer.
Yeah, of course.
But it's not to say it's more realistic, but it's to say that there are pathways, there are opportunities for you to, if you want to take the sport seriously, and if you work hard enough and you're willing to outwork the people that are maybe not as serious in the sport, then you can start to see results. So that's something that I've been grateful for.
Of course. And then to get into the coaching courses and the programs that I've just listed, tell us a bit more about those. Speak to us on how your experience was with them, but also what the main sort of central message was being in those courses. What have you actually learned from those?
So that's not all of them.
Yes,
Like,
just
that's
just
not a
sum
bit
sum
of
sum them up into one.
Oh, okay.
But of course, you
that's-
can list them. Those at
we can go a
yeah,
bit
we
more
can. Yeah,
specific.
of
Okay.
course.
So the first like official coaching course that I did was the UEFA C license, which was with the Scottish FA, the SFA. That was in Lesotho in 2019, I think. And then that for a long time, that's what I thought was what you'd get from a course that that they're all standardized, because it's the only one I attended at the time, and everything that I did when I was coaching was based on what I had learned in that course. And I think what I've benefited from all the courses that I've done subsequently is that every single course is its own course. Every course you step into, the participants have an influence, the instructor has an influence on. Obviously, the content of the course has an influence as well. So it's almost as if it's its own little baby, and every course teaches you something that you would have never thought. And even if you walk into the same course with the exact same instructor, because the participants are different, because the questions are different, it's a completely new learning experience. But yeah, in regards to that, let's say, so the introductory course, I think early in the year, that was quite general. Okay, it touched on a few things. I think we had the Brave Warriors goalkeeper coach as well, and Arnold came in, and he obviously, I think he was the biggest takeaway from that, because goalkeeping had been something that had been so alien to me, and it's something I also deliberately like distance myself from, because I'm not comfortable coaching something if I'm not comfortable with the content,
Sure.
because I don't want to be teaching, especially with the younger kids. You don't want to be teaching the wrong techniques.
Yeah.
Later down the year, later down the line, someone has to come undo the work you've done. But I think with that, and he was also on the youth course as well, as he introduced the content, and as you do your own research, that was something that was the biggest takeaway, because now I'm starting to here and there do the basic techniques of the goalkeeping with my younger goalkeepers. So that I would say would be my biggest takeaway there. Then we moved on to the TSG. That was, I think that's when we met in
Yeah.
Makati. Yeah,
Yes, that's right.
that was completely new. So technical study is this idea that you analyze every single game in a competition, but then you also analyze the trends of that competition. And it's something we've done analyzing a game, like you've done an analysis of a game and you know what you're looking for, but to do it with that in depth that we did it there, and as we did it with the newspaper cup as well, you're doing 14, 15 games a day. That is draining, and I think it just allowed me to have a better understanding of the difficulties. These technical reports come out and you read it, you kind of just peruse through it. You don't respect the work that has been done, that's gone into this. Something as simple as maybe keeping track of the areas in which teams are attacking, or where their shots are coming from. You think this is just done, but at the lower levels, I wouldn't say lower levels, but obviously when you get to the European side, it's more digital.
Yeah.
But as we do it, especially for COSAFA, you're looking at people that are specifically doing that. There's work behind that. So that was just an eye opener, and it was such a different course, I think that was where I learned the most out of my courses. What did we do? Then we did the youth course, the FIFA youth course.
Yeah.
That was great. We had a great instructor. We had a great group. There was some point I was discussing it with some of our coaches as well. It was almost like an inferiority complex when you're sitting there, because it's like just the group that they got in for the youth course was intimidating, but it's also amazing, because you're constantly learning from people and the insights that they give, and just the variety. You have coaches from all the regions. You had coaches that are coaching men's, that are coaching women. You have senior coaches. You have junior coaches. You have coaches that have coached national teams, both gladiators, and the Brave Warriors. You have the baby gladiators coaches. You have coaches that are coaching regional teams. I think 6 of the coaches that did the newspaper cup were in that course as well. So that it was just a melting pot of intelligence, really.
Yeah.
And that's something that I found quite entertaining. And then the grassroots course, which we did last week, where I was a guest participant, that was also fun, because grassroots is different. You're coaching younger players, right? And the emphasis isn't necessarily on developing a complete footballer or teaching those technical skills. The emphasis is on participation, making sure that football is for everyone, everywhere. You're coaching the basics of sport in general. So you're doing balance, coordination, agility. You're doing all this work. and you're doing life skills as well.
Yeah, of
So-
course.
And you're doing all of that in the concept of football. So the football has to be there all the time. You still need to be doing football coaching, but the emphasis is behind the scenes, and you're almost hiding what you're actually trying to do
Yeah.
in a normal training session.
Man, that's a mouthful, but I
Yeah,
think
it's a
also
lot.
quite interesting.
Yeah.
And it I think it highlights the importance of coaching generally, which I want us to get into. But I see we're running just about out of time, Keenan. So I will just quickly allow us to get into an ad break,
Okay.
and then we'll quickly be back on the other side of this with one more question.
Got it.
Good morning, Dina. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
We're doing fantastic.
I was always attracted to women a lot. Like, at the time when I stopped, I was 98. I had about 27 girlfriends.
Ooh,
You had 27 girlfriends.
Wow.
Casanova.
Yeah, well,
Look at you.
I am not your
because my without the supervision of my father, I found myself in the street.
Advertise your brand or your company on Desert Radio or our live streams and gain access to more than 500,000 customers on our platforms. We have the best rates on different packages to suit your brand. Contact Leonard Halfiku on 081 870 1143 or email leonard@namibian.com.na and he will gladly assist you with a smile. Remember, Desert Radio is part of the Namibian, which means you can tap into both print and electronic media. Desert Radio, the bold voice.
This is Desert Radio.
Indeed, it is Desert Radio 95.3 FM. We are in conversation with KeenanaMarkgraaf, but we are headed to the close of that conversation. Keenan, one more question before I let you go. You know, taking all your experience into consideration, taking all your knowledge into consideration, speak to us on what you think the status of footballing of football coaching in the country is. You know, especially on the background of it being more important, one of the most important elements of putting any football project together, right? Whether it's a match, whether it's a course, whether it's a tournament. Coaching is, a very, very important element. And like you said, we all have dreams of, being a football star and playing for one of the best teams, wearing that number 7, number 10 jersey. But I don't think people take in consideration how important coaching is. On that backdrop, speak to us in about a minute or so, if you can, on the importance, the status rather, of football coaching in Namibia right now. Are we doing good? Are we okay? Do we still need to improve? What's happening?
I think there's always room for improvement, no matter how well it's going. But what I have really noticed, especially with the youth course, like I mentioned, is that we have great coaches, and we have coaches that are doing amazing work. The people that I've interacted with, their ambition, their drive, their determination to improve not just themselves as coaches, but improve their players and their teams and the state of coaching. Also, their willingness to assist coaches who also want to improve. I think it's inspirational. And it's just a sign of good things to going forward, especially the hard work that's being done by the NC, by the technical director, Coach Jackie, by FIFA itself, the assistance that they've provided as well. It's not just about, let's put these coaches out and let's let them learn. It's about guiding them. It's about putting platforms down for them to improve. So I think it's positive all the way around. There will always be room to improve, even if, there was the quote earlier where we said your good should become your better, and your better should become your best. That was online as well. That's what we should always be striving to continue. But I think we just have to commend the hard work that's being done behind the scenes for our coaches to improve.
Indeed. Keenan, it's been an absolute pleasure being in studio with you this morning. Thank you so much for just coming through, but also just informing and educating the nation on the importance of coaching and your journey as well. It's been fantastic, and good luck.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
All right. Cheers.